Good afternoon with a capital H. Okay, so here's one that came up on the membership call. Someone was asking about eating and their love of food, or overeating in the case that they were mentioning. And I was just reflecting on it in terms of like lots of different behaviors that we do that we wish we had control over. So the way to start to understand this is to realize that the reason we don't have, or the reason it appears that we don't have any control or choice over these things, is because most of it is being driven unconsciously. That means you're not really in charge of the information that's driving it. It's very much like if I said to you, you've got this engine that's running and it's running on a certain speed, and it runs automatically, and you're like, oh no, the engine's running again, and the engine produces the behavior, then most people's approach to that is to try to take a stick and try to stop the engine. They're going to use force to try and stop the engine. I said, and that's most of the time because they don't want to look back, or they don't know because they've hidden it from themselves. So it is still a don't want to, and it's still an avoid. They don't want to find the fuel supply, because if you walked up to someone who was trying to stop an engine with a stick and you said, can you see that the fuel tanks were there and there's a little tap, and if you switch it off the engine will stop on its own. You go, what? It's almost like a shock. Yeah. So you've got to ask yourself, what fuel drives the behavior? Well, this is the same with drug and alcohol. It doesn't matter whether it's shopping, gambling, sex, whatever the hell it is that food, all of them, doesn't matter. Because most people are trying to change a behavioral output without understanding where the fuel supply is. And, using willpower, which is a stick, to try and stop the engine. So the fuel supply is going to be coming from whatever uncomfortable experience is still floating around unconsciously. Again, unconscious until we make it conscious. Floating around unconsciously that you think your behavior is going to soothe, fix, or help you avoid. That's it. So, for me, I know I did quite a few years of binge drinking and stuff like that to help with the uncomfortable experience that I was having. I did tell myself I was having a great time, and I probably did have a great time as well in the process of living in a different reality, which was covered over by my self-medication, which is okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody chooses to do what they want to do, and everybody's got a choice to do that. I don't make any of it wrong, to be honest. I said, but really, if someone is really struggling with something and they want to find out, or at least start looking in the direction of what is really going to change it, then what I would say is the day that it doesn't make sense to do the behavior is the day that you've seen something that has changed or switched off the fuel supply. So you can have many conversations with many people, but it will be the moment that you go, okay, this doesn't make any sense anymore to do this. It means that you've released yourself from whatever the constraint was, or whatever the emotional response was that was hidden. So there you go. That's one for today to ponder. By the way, if you're struggling with any of these things, I said 20-minute free discovery call. No change work involved, just a little chat. Just to work out how you're relating to the behavior, if that's what you want to do. I know sometimes it can produce quite a bit of shame and guilt and embarrassment and all the rest of it, but don't worry about those things. That's part of the trap. If you can trap yourself in shame, guilt and embarrassment, then you won't have to have the phone calls. You can avoid even the solution, even the possible awareness. So it's a clever way to make sure that you never take any action to do anything about it, right? So that's okay too. So if you fancy a 20-minute phone call, or anybody that's really struggling, no pressure to change anything, no judgment, because I'm not interested in judging anything. You're allowed to do what you want. But if you want to discover how to have new possibilities, and to maybe have some options and choices, or to at least start looking in the direction of what would set you free from whatever patterns you've got, then just give me a nudge. Until the next time, go and enjoy your life. See you later.